Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You have stumbled on the audio and optical gem that is the Gamestar Heroes of the Storm EMBER series. We are into round 3 of the Swiss format ladder, and this time, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a treat for you. It is Royal Allegiance versus Tetris. These two teams, currently as it stands, Tetris is without a win, and the Royal Allegiance are also, unfortunately, without a win. They are the only two teams that we haven't covered yet, and we thought, why not? We'll give them a crack. And once again, Skimmy and Starving, huge welcome back to you boys. The draft is underway.
Indeed. And, to kick things off, it's going to be, Royal Allegiance. I'm going to talk a bit about them. Previously known as Team Onyx Esports. You got to be wondering why they changed the name there, Skimmy. There's going to be something we'll have to run that by them. And maybe there might be another article or something like that. But who is the other team?
Well, it is Tetris, and a lot of experience behind a lot of these members as well. A lot of these teams coming together, doing those sort of mini roster apocalypses as we're known for. And it's going to be members like Ice Bold Water, Sharpest Shire, the Skyfire, and the Deuces. So a mixture there between the Chinese lads and a lot of other members that have been around in the ANZ scene for quite a while. But Tetris are going to kick things off by taking away Blackout's Bay.
And what not better map to take away? Of course, not being one of the most favoured maps in ANZ or even Heroes of the Storm in general. So, yep, taking that one out, and the close one to follow, Towers of Doom.
When will Towers of Doom ever see a game? I don't think it will, unfortunately, because it's just a map hated by absolutely everyone. Same with Garden of Terror ever since it was changed. I mean, the main reason really behind it is the fact that this games last for so long. It's just not fun to play on. Tomb of the Spider Queen also taken away as well. So a lot of these sort of unfun, if we really will, maps is banned out.
Yep, and Cursed Hollow being banned out once again. No one really wanted to play on that map, as we can see. Pretty fast responses from both teams here. So the last ones again, and Sky Temple and Infernal Shrine. So people really liking these two maps today. And interested to see what map it is. And it's going to be Infernal Shrines. The John Cena is going to be coming out. Can you see him? You can now. He's jumped on you.
And it's going to be the one. And Royal Allegiance, they're going to start things off after Sing and Illidan getting played. They're thinking, we don't want to have anything about that. Going to take it away straight away.
Yeah, and the first ban on the side of Tetris is a Kael'thas, so you can't go wrong with that. Kael'thas is a very strong pick on this map, Skimmy, for the reason that he can drop down the Phoenix, do a lot of AoE damage onto the Infernal Shrine, getting a lot of those skulls, of course zoning out the enemy team as well from killing them themselves. So very nice ban, I do like that. Sonya also a very strong pick with the Whirlwind to pick up those same skulls.
Yes, Sonya finds herself just a slightly higher pick above Thrall on this map, just given the fact that she's just that much better at doing the shrines. And, if you follow the other regions, you'll see players like Dami, for instance, from Tempest, do absolute monstrous work with this pick here. It's really how Tetris respond to this one. Got a few different options available for them. They could go for something like, say, the Tassadar Greymane, or perhaps even the Muradin Greymane.
Yeah, Muradin wouldn't be too bad. With the attack speed debuff, is so detrimental to Sonya. Really kind of just turns into her a semi-tank, if anything, while battling it out. So actually hovering the Thrall, quite a strong bruiser nonetheless, even despite what you were just saying, Skimmy. With that follow-through ability, the damage certainly just rolls on out. It's just the 1, the 2, the 3, and before you know it, you're knocked out and you're 1 down. So Zul being picked up as well. Absolutely. Very, very strong, Skimmy.
Extremely strong on this map, and for a reason that we can really describe in the fact that he can bounce between lanes and just clear them with ease. And those skeletons do one of two things. They push the lane, but they also soak up a lot of the tower shots. So the ammunition is running low. That means the minion wave is going to passively push in your favor all the time.
Exactly. And Royal Allegiance, they've done something pretty interesting here. Their response to the push power of the Zul, and I guess you could say the Thrall, would be the Sylvanas with the Wailing Arrows. So she's probably going to be able to do a lot of work with that, maybe stop Zul from popping that Poison Over, which we see in so many games can really just change the whole dynamic of the fight.
And that might be the reason, Starving, why they've picked up the Rhaegar as well, because they are scared of that Poison Over if it is going to come out. They want to have a reliable way to top up all the members and keep themselves sustaining these long engagements. But Tetris say, that's it. We don't want to verse ETC. He's going to be far too detrimental up against our melee-heavy comp so far. And Royal Allegiance say, right, well, we'll take away Uther.
Yeah, and I think it would make sense for Royal Allegiance. They could even pick themselves up a Muradin. So I think, like we were saying before, Skimmy, we might be seeing Tetris actually go for that. So the Sonya's a bit redundant in that respect. Gonna have to wait and see. Eating into the time pool now, 32 seconds remaining. Joanna, a very strong tank for this map. Skimmy, and for what reason? Better than that Judgment.
Yeah, Ron, I mean, really just the wave clear that she brings on top of what they have already. It's just annoying to verse. And they favor it actually over the Mirrodin. So it just shows you that they're looking for a lot more control, a lot more sustained fights. They want to sort of clump people up so they can get those big Sunders and those big Poison Overs. So we'll have to see how they finish this one off. But, you know, they've got another, say, 30 seconds available at them, so they don't need to rush anything so early on.
Yeah, and you know what? Joanna's pretty good as well, because what it means is that you can chuck out the blind onto the Sonya, which can make her miss a few attacks rather than slow them down. So, you know, arguably better. So Li Ming going to be picked up as well. Her Arcane Orb going to be doing work on the Infernal Shrines, as well as her poke ability to get onto the backline there. But Tracer being picked up for the first time today onto the stream.
I love this. Tracer, I believe this might even be a debut in ANZ. I don't believe there's a single competitive game I've actually seen Tracer being played in our region.
Yeah, I think you might be right. So it's going to be interesting to see how she's played.
I'm very curious how this one's going to round out. They do take the Mirrodin as well. The final tank in this hierarchy of good picks rounds this one off. And Tetris now in a situation of thinking, what support do we want? Rhaegar and Nufa taken away. They've got a few options once again. The Karazim might be an option, but, you know, Malfurion also might lay a lot of potential too.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, it may stop Tracer from being such a big threat with the, you know, the AoE healing. And with her single damage being, you know, sure, it's pretty fast, but, you know, she's very squishy and she's susceptible to being blown out of a team fight very quickly, Skimmy. And, of course, who's better than blowing up someone very quickly? Thrall.
That's it, and there we go. Karazim is locked in. It's what they want to go for. No contestant on that one. Absolute whatever. And I mean, once again, like we always say, we look at these two team comps and we try and decide which one is one. From a brawling standpoint, I'm quite a fan of Royal Allegiance, and I think that Trace is going to have a great time here to try and really exploit the unorganized play that could potentially come out of Tetris. If they find somebody in the wrong position at the wrong time, that pulse bomb is going to come onto you, and your life is going to be a living misery.
Yeah, well, you can't go wrong. I'm really, you know, looking at this team comp, Skimmy, I would probably have to say I do like Tetris's team comp. I feel like, you know, of all the gameplay I've seen of Zul with the Poison Nova, I mean, we saw Demise play a lot of Zul, and what a Zul he does play, Poison Nova is really doing work there and showing the worth. You cannot lie. That is a fact. So, yeah, I'm definitely liking Tetris's team comp here. Of course, they do have the clear to kind of work well with those Infernal Shrines as well. So, gonna have to see what the chat thinks about that one. Has there been anything going on over there?
Well, boys, the Twitch chat at the moment seems to be in favour of a Tetris win. They're not getting behind the Royal Allegiance guys, and Tracer, wow, that was out of the blue.
Yeah, very out of the blue.
Well, I mean, I think Tracer has this interesting spot in the meta right now where people don't really view it as a strong pick, but definitely when it comes to unorganized play, be it quick match in Hero League, when you're not all coordinated on those team comps together, when you're not all saying, let's kill her, you know, she's just that much stronger. So I'm very curious to see how much worth and how much value that this Tracer gets out.
Okay, so we're just going to be waiting for the start here, going to invite everyone in and get them going. But looks like it's going to be good here. So, you know, chuck your comments out in the chat, you know, get involved with all the bants and wear your bants pants. And we're going to be starting things off here pretty soon.
Yeah, so we'll just wait for these teams just to lock in their picks now in the lobby. Then we'll jump on into the game. Be sure, obviously, just to keep chucking out your predictions and keep an eye on the plays. We're looking for the best MVP play for this game. Obviously, it's sponsored here by Plantronics, who are going to be giving away a lovely little Rig 500 HD headset for you to jump on in and spin those comms with. And actually, bear with us. It looks like the lobby may have just bugged out as we just wait for everybody to jump back in.
Jump back in real quick. People are apologizing to us. I'm loving the vibes today. The people, you know, especially you guys in the Twitch chat, thank you for being so patient with us through, you know, thick and thin, these wee technical difficulties we've been having. But, you know, we are going to be ironing these out. You know, Kit Fox talked about it before. First time for everything, you know. So you just got to bear with us.
Setting the foundation, if you will. You know, as a builder, you lay the gravel, you lay it all down, you stick in the sticks.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm trying to spin a yard here. And I don't even know where I'm going with this because I've never had any building experience. So, you know, why don't you carry it on for me, mate?
Well, I mean, I did get a pre-trade in SIT, which is actually a building sort of orientated thing. Fair to say, I'm not a good builder. I play games. When's a game even been good at that, except if you play Minecraft? But To be honest, I don't play Minecraft either. I play games like Heroes of the Storm. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once again, we're going to be jumping in. Goodbye to good old Kid Fox over there. Thank you for that. But we'll be talking to him in just a moment as we jump into this game. And on the left-hand side, who do we have, Skimmy?
It's going to be Royal Allegiance there starving. It's going to be Elo on Mirrodin, damage on Sylvanas, Bullcrow on the Sonya. Can't you, or can you, play the Tracer? And Grumpshot plays the Rhaegar.
And Ice Baldy is indeed playing the Joanna, the Skyfire playing Thrall, Juices playing Karazim. The solution is indeed to play Li Ming, and Sharper, a sharp blade on the Zul there. So going to be jumping into the Infernal Shrines where the Punishers are all over the land.
Well, I mean, if you do have your didgeridoo, mate, you can play a quick little tune as he jumps on in to the Nexus and makes his presence known. You can see that on that loading graphic. He's just such a scary, scary human being.
Yeah,
Was he even a human being?
No.
He looks like a human being, but a very grotesque one.
Yeah, and that is indeed John Cena. Who's so, we might get sued if we keep talking about stuff like that. So let's just keep talking and keep having a bit of fun here. Toss out your predictions in the chat. The game's just about to start and the players are loading up. For a couple of potato PCs, but that's why they're performing here. $50 a week might be able to save himself up and get a new computer. You never know.
Yeah, you never know indeed. And we're just waiting for that last 0.1%.
Yeah,
almost like that germ on that 99.99% dead oil you buy from the supermarket. You're just waiting for that last germ just to decide, I might load today.
Yeah, I might go away.
I might do something today.
Yeah, indeed. So, look at that. We're into the game. You know what? They're just going to be starting off the game nice and quick here. So they're all running across on their mounts. A couple notable mounts there. See a wee cyborg. Looks like a Zoid if you guys ever watched Zoids back when you were kids. That's fantastic. And Tracer, she's just bare off her mountain there.
So, I mean, we've got two different comps here, Starving. One comp that I had to say from Tetris, really looking to try and abuse the wave clear factor with the fact that they have a Johanna as their tank. Whereas Royal Allegiance just really trying to find picks and trying to find a member in the open on their own, allowing Sonya and the Tracer to take you out and force that 4v5 situation.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to how it plays out, to be honest with their Royal Allegiance. If that Tracer gets picked off, that's a big chunk of their damage gone. And they're playing pretty defensive already. They've sent their players up to the top lane and bottom lane respectively. They aren't seeking a fight. So this is something kind of new, Skippy.
Yeah, they're definitely saying we're not going to be looking for the level 1. They're deciding not to opt for what the Sylvanas can bring to the table. And they just want to go for the fight as a result.
Yeah, and fair enough so they are going to be, as you said before, Skinny, their wave clear is going to be absolutely massive. Hello, and can't you? He certainly can. He's going to be sitting in the mid lane just dealing with that Bullcrow now at the top lane. Probably smells a bit of a rotate up from that throw, and sure enough, there he is. 3 players in the bot lane for the side of Tetris.
So in this top-hand side, Bullcrow should actually have the advantage in the 1v1 if he utilizes that block talent to the best of his ability. We'll have that sustain, and that's the reason why Thrall is so highly contested as well, because there's so much sustain too. But look at that, somebody does not have sustain. Mirrodin dies.
Yeah, well, he has a bit of sustain if he allows that passive kick in. So didn't actually see what happened to Transcribe down there, but it does get picked off. Bit of aggression going out into Solution in the mid lane there, but the Tracer does jump off him very promptly. Look at that wave clear, Skimmy.
Yep.
You mentioned this at the start of the game, but I didn't realize how detrimental it would be, and it's just so strong. So I like that.
You can see there as a result, they got a slight XP lead, nothing too much, but it's mainly just the fact that they cleared that wave before Royal Allegiance have had a chance to. The Arcane Orb comes out onto Tracer, and he's going to really try and bounce around and use those salsa lessons to tap and run away.
Yeah, he's going to be tapping that pretty well indeed. So needs that HP and mana back in his life. Look at, I really like the speed here. Got to comment on this. It's already been, it's only been 1 minute 48. It's already almost a whole level advantage. The first shrine is activating, and the talent here is about to be picked up for Team Tetris. So a very nice time to get their talent here, Skimmy. Wouldn't you have to say?
Oh, it is indeed. And say the shrine is now active. Thrall looks like he's going to kick things off here. And Johanna's just going to push this wave in, so once again just allows them to have all these good conditions for themselves. The wave is pushed against them, and the shrine, well, it's really in their favour.
Yeah, pretty basic talent's been picked up as well. Does look like the Li Ming may be picking up some sort of Arcane Orb build, Skimmy.
Yeah, looking for that reset talent, looking to try and get as much health as possible, so expect to see her do some pretty aggressive plays.
Yeah, big damage coming out here is the team for Royal Allegiance are trying to break into this Punisher here, but it doesn't seem they can. The Healing Ward being dropped as well. A lot of damage being coming out from the Li Ming. He has the solution in this sort of regard. He can just poke out all day and not allow them in Thrall doing a massive work there as he gets those skulls for his team. And he's actually being very patient as he sits up there, coming down now to toss out a Chain Lightning or two, but no, very nicely done there. Deuce is popping that healing ward.
You can see there Elo having a bit of frustration there. He's trying to get a stun onto a target, but the only target really in his face was the Johanna. And with the Iron Skin available, it says, well, you can try and stun me, but I'm going to negate it completely. Now, an interesting thing to mention, starting whilst the skirmish goes on, is the fact that they're actually split pushing. We've got Zul bouncing between mid and bot, and a fight might actually break out.
Yeah, Bullcrow, Elo, and Kanyu are all pretty low. Be fair, so they're gonna have to let this one go. And I mean, you're talking about the Skimmy, it's been a 4v4 this whole time. Do you think they could have won a 4v4 if they just went in deep? Because you were talking about how he couldn't get past the Joanna. Maybe if he, Dwarven tossed himself in, it wouldn't have felt anything good for him,
I feel like with the comp they have, it doesn't obviously do too well with the wave clear unless they have a Punisher in their favor. That's when they use the Sylvanas and they find themselves a pick. But look, they're very frustrated with how that one panned out. They find themselves a kill. That's Tracer taking out Zul there. Oh, look at this. The Skyfire tries to find the kill. He does. The Wind Fury has enough speed to run on down. He's got the need for speed.
Yeah, he's got the need for speed. Might give himself a GPR or something like that. But look at that. A kill already going out. And it looks like another one may be picked up if they're lucky enough, but unfortunately they are not. Solution dealing such a massive amount of damage. I have to really comment on how he's playing, just being so aggressive. So damage actually going back and dodging that wolf as well. So he knows the Skyfire is keen on the kills. Actually looks like something out of World of Warcraft, that Skyfire skin, doesn't it?
Yeah, well it is indeed, and your observations are on fleek, as they would say.
Yeah, on fleek. Yeah, I need one of those good shirts. They sell good shirts, man. Good shirts. But enough about shirts, more about Heroes of the Storm as we move back into this game. Sharper standing at the mid lane going up against Can't You. So he's going to have a bit of a, he's going to have an alright time. He does have the Bone Shield, of course, so it's going to make it a bit easy for him there. A bit of a gank going up onto Bullcrow here. Not really prepared, actually chunking out the spear. A lot of damage coming out. Sharper coming in as well. The Bone Prism going to be coming out. Is he going to get CC'd? Yes, he is rooted indeed, and he does get dropped, so...
Sharper just rocks up his security, kind of like, if my 3 members can't kill you, well, I'll make sure we can kill you. Chucks up the Bone Prism, seals the deal, and they find themselves in a 4-level lead now, Starving. This is absolutely huge for them right now. But fight's actually breaking out in the bot.
Sorry to interrupt you there. There's actually a bit of a response down here for the Skyfire. It does get taken out. Gets fired from there. And gets dropped out of that very quickly.
How do they respond to this one? This is interesting. Okay, so it looks like Royal Allegiance are going to decide we're going to play with our own plan. We're not going to play reactively. We're going to play to our own called. And they're going to push bot.
The reason why I like this skin is because they are behind. They aren't yet level 10. This does give them the chance to get that experience while they can. They do see 3 members in the mid lane now starting to rotate down. Are they going to try and get the pick off? I don't think that would be smart. So they are going to back off there. Can't you? Oh man, he's playing very aggressively. Sharper may get a Bone Prism out here if he's not careful. Double jump. Oh, a nice recall there.
Oh, wow. I was just going to say, you might have been in trouble there with the recall, but he uses it to an absolute swift. He does utilize the level 7 talent and gets himself out of harm's way with no contestation whatsoever. But Starving, Tetris are level 10, and how convenient is this for the Shrine to spawn from now?
Yeah, it is. But I mean, we do see the Tracer and the Sonya up in the top lane. They're going to be trying to do this as fast as they can, but with the, the wave clear for the side of Tetris is so much stronger, and you're going to see them just pile through this with every level advancement, with every talent tier advancement for themselves.
Yeah, and you can see right now they're
23 already.
Completely giving it up. They're saying we can't contest. Level 10 is just too detrimental, and rightly so. It's a huge talent, but look at that Johanna and the rest just absolutely smashing that one out, up to 32 skulls already. But look at this, Royal Allegiance might decide to go for a fight there. Sundering comes out.
Massive play to make here in the situation as they are going there for that. And the Divine Palm being used as well, but Deuces may be in trouble here. They may have to back off. Wolf already being used as well as an ultimate from the side of Tetris, but no, they are doing pretty good Dwarven toss as well to get him out of that.
Wow, look at that Avatar, just enough. He gets the Dwarven toss and jumps out in just the absolute nick of time. Muradin would have been suffering there.
Yeah, he does cop a heal at the last couple of seconds there, but the Arcane Punisher coming out now, jumping onto Aloe, so they are going to bring it as close as they can to that. But look at the aggressive plays by Tetris here.
They're just saying, right, you're at your fault, but you're not even safe there because we got the Arcane Punisher, smack it on home, and those lasers with the old bow wow wow spinning around are just doing so much annoying work.
If you've ever watched Starcast, you know I love the bow wow wows, even if it's the Li Ming bow wow or even if it's the Punisher. So Can't you? He just gets out of there. He gets jumped. He's like, whoop, nope, this is, yep, it's not good enough for me. He's just going to get out of there, and Skyfire Deuce is the solution. They're going to roll to the bot lane to get the easy.
Now, Starving, an interesting point to note is with level 10, Tracer's gone for Quantum Spike. Now, this is really to try and do a lot more max health damage, as opposed to the increased charge rate and as opposed to the increased range on chucking out that bomb. Looking to try and get amongst those beefy characters and just pick off anybody they can. So definitely watch to see how this Tracer coordinates this.
Yeah, and it's really quite similar, Skimmy, to what you might see if it was a Bala being picked up in a double tank made. Or maybe even a 4 bruiser or something like that. You know, giant killer isn't so bad, is it? Because you've got a lot of heroes with a lot of health. They are melee. If they don't get their energy off properly, you can deal a lot of damage in a short space of time, especially with that rapid attack speed.
And looks like Tetris just lighting up the map red in that bot hand side. It's only a consolation prize of Royal Legends to get the Shaman in the top side, but you know, it looks like Tetris is just sieging on through. They're doing it very systematically now. They've taken bot, they've taken top, mid is the only fault remaining, and it's about to drop too.
To be honest, Skimmy, I think if they're going to fight any time, this is probably the time. No talent to your advantage. Bone Prism being popped, Sundering being popped as well, sprinting across the team. Poison Nova being popped onto all 5 members of Team Royal Allegiance. They need to back off here, but it may be too late. Deuce is going down pretty low as well. No Divine Palm being used just as of yet, so that is a free resurrect, and 1 member already down for the side of Royal Allegiance. They need to get out of here now, can't you? You certainly can't. You need to get out of that fight, and they do pick themselves up the next talent to your advantage, Skimmy.
Wow, look at that. I mean, it just really kicked off from that Sundering, led into the Poison Over, and from then on, you know, it was game over. Sylvanas dropped to an inkling off her health, just got taken out by a Chain Lightning for free by the throw, almost like a fadeaway, like, flick, you're gone. And I mean,
a bit of a dab.
A bit of a dab, you know, kind of just danced on in there. And I mean, well, Tracer, she chucked at that pulse bomb, but it didn't even hit anything. It just kind of exploded on the tarmac, so not as impactful as we would have liked there, but you know, they were a talent tier down by Bear and Mind Starving, so you know, when they do hit that 13, look for them to try and force another engagement. It might be at this next shrine.
Look, in a game, Skimmy, unlike, you know, say League of Legends or Dota 2, any, you know, power spike you get is all you get. You don't get these items, and you don't really go too far in terms of experience with stats and all that sort of thing. So when you get these talents, that's literally your only chance, unless you have a boss, a hard camp, or some sort of map pressure. So it's very smart by Team Tetris to actually go in there on that level 13 against the 12 and take them out for that fight. I really like that confidence.
Well, this is it now. Starving 13 has been picked up. Elo just jumps on in with the Dwarven Toss, almost screaming at the team, saying, "Let's go, boys!" And they try and force the fight, but the Sundering gone.
Already being popped indeed. Bullcrow going solo as well, and Solution is pumping out the damage. Already got 2 reset, or 1 reset I should say, sorry. And a Poison Nova being popped, connecting lots of damage, and the damage is being dealt onto himself, so very bad luck there. Royal Allegiance losing 2 members under another Punisher, and all the while they're already on 35 skulls. So I believe this is going to be the Frost Punisher, Skimmy. I believe we've seen the Mortar.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So there it is indeed. It comes out, and it's got a cold heart of ice, Skimmy.
It has, and I mean, just the fight execution there. I mean, Murin instantly gone, and once your tank's gone out the fight, I mean, it's a very hard situation unless you're very coordinated to sort of find those picks, to find those opportunities to go from. You can see, can't you? Oh, look at that. He jumps on in, burns both the blinks and the recoil charges. He's in a very weird spot now, but that's the mobility coming out of Tracer. So frustrating, both from Heroes of the Storm and in Overwatch.
Yeah, you can't really deal with that too easily. The jump before the Infernal, the Frozen Punisher is going to come out, going onto Volko, and look at that blow up there. Ancestral Healing, not even enough
it's
to
actually put Ancestral on cooldown.
Yeah, it's put Ancestral on cooldown as well for a couple of seconds, so yeah, they're probably going to be looking to pop that on Aloe. He is dangerously low. Grunt Shot doing a good job healing, but is it going to be enough? Ancestral Healing being popped a bit too early there. Maybe that's what they were trying to bait out. Frozen Punisher doing a lot of work. Beautiful
Ancestral bait there, actually, because, I mean, Elo with the Dwarven Toss can completely negate that Bone Prison.
Yeah.
So I think the comms a bit shaky there.
Yeah.
Royal Allegiance kind of panicking at the situation they're in right now. They've dropped a keep, but once again, they're still not out of it. This game can go late. And if they find the picks like we see Zor right now, they're definitely still with a chance.
I mean, I think Royal Allegiance, in terms of team fights, their best chance is to really go off the Wailing Arrow. If they can get the Wailing Arrow off onto Sharper and get him taken out nice and quickly, it's really going to pay off, especially if that Juices, you know, especially if Juices get silenced as well for the Divine Palm.
Would you agree, Starving? Almost feels as if they're trying to force the aggression just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And then Tetris will say, cool, we'll start the fight on our own accord. And it always goes with that Sundering, textbook Poison Over. And what can you do then? You can't negate with these Wailing Arrows. You can't really negate with, say, the Pulse Bomb. It's kind of like, we need to run.
And when Li Ming has, you know, the AoE ultimate as well with the burst wave, it's just going to make, you're just going to, wave of force, sorry, you're going to get pushed around a whole lot more with the resets and without them even, as a matter of fact. But look at this. This may actually spell a fight here. Sharper coming into the front line. Skyfire coming in with a Wolf. Sundering being popped nice and early, spinning across the team. Bullcrow taking the grunt of the force here. Poison Nova being popped as well. Damage, all the damage is coming out already.
Ooh!
And so, a massive pick onto the side of the Li Ming. So Tetris is already one down. Sharper's pretty low as well. Kanchu needs to get out of there, but he does get taken out, a bit out of position there. And that's going to bring it to a 4v4. Elo actually looking to continue, and Bullcrow as well. Whirlwind healing coming out here, but it may be a bit risky. The Wolf coming out, and indeed the follow-through is going to take out Bullcrow. So I think, to be honest, Skimmy, no BM intended, but a bit of an overextension there by Bullcrow.
Wow, Starving. A lot of things went down there. I'm just going to try and condense that all into a span of about 15 seconds, so count me with your stopwatch. Now, we looked at that fight. The Thundering went out, but it didn't really connect with anything. And then the Wailing Arrow came across, but it was just a little bit too slow to negate what that Poison Over brought. But the fight was good. Tracer found Li Ming on her own, completely took her out, and it resulted in the fight going good for them at the start. But then the fight went south. Tracer was caught on her own. She got taken out. Bullcrow, aggressive plays, actually juked the Blessed Shield, but then the Feral Spirit sealed the deal.
Exactly, and a Feral Spirit indeed. Double Wolf, triple Wolf, one Wolf's enough. And if you ever watched Game of Thrones, you'd love those Wolves. So, look at this. So we are going to be seeing pretty soon, they're going to be trying to respond, but, they aren't quite a talent tier down. They may be alright, but they're being very careful here. They don't quite know what to do. The posturing around the bottom, the Infernal Punisher is the Punisher of choice this time. The fight actually starting to break out. Elo being taken so low already. So dangerous. And Bullcrow trying to get that healing, but the Mortar Punisher already spawned Sundering being popped as well. Elo needs to get out of there. Poison Nova only connecting with Elo. This could be actually pretty good, and if he stays alive. So a couple of ultimates down for the side of Royal Allegiance here.
Oh no, Grumpshot was just left for dead by the rest of his team that just said, we don't really care. You're gone, unfortunately. And it seems to be the story for Royal Allegiance is the coordination just not as well put together as what Tetris can do, and they're going to find themselves pushing on home once again, looking for another keep.
Yeah, John Cena jumping over that fence there might be in the WWE, but he certainly knows a bit of Heroes of the Storm as well. So, you know what, he's jumping on in, doing a bit of damage to these structures here, probably going to be able to pick himself something. Another fort, and it's going to be very easy for him to just keep applying this pressure damage, actually getting a lot of damage being dumped in again. And what a scary situation players, it's Sylvanas here. A lot of stuff resting on their shoulders there.
This is going to be make or break for it, Starving. They might actually go for the core now. I mean, Rhaegar's available. He's just actually respawned. He's going to absolutely do some clutch or kick plays right now. Bullcrow's in the mix. Waverfalls just takes him out completely. Oh, Muradin's in it, and it's just not going to be enough. Sonya says, GG, well played. The game looks like it's done and over with. Tracer's taken out as well. That's 2 dead. And the core drops. Tetris take out round number 3 and get themselves a win on the board.
There's a couple of things that this means, Skimmy, is that what are we in now that we've had 3 rounds?
We are going to be in the grand finals, but we will find out a ladder update in just a second. But we're just going to quickly go over the game. We're going to look at the talents. We're going to look at the score. We're going to decide an MVP of our own choosing, and then we're going to pass it to Kit Fox to see what the viewers thought. So, I mean, we look at this. Let's break it up straight away with the Thrall there. 45k.
Yeah, and on, counter argument to that, I guess you could say Tracer. We've talked about this in the past as well, Skimmy. Damage isn't always everything, So, Kanyu, he did a lot of damage, but he did get picked off a lot of the time. Sonya played a bit aggressively, I did think, with, being very frontline heavy. Of course, she was the second bruiser. But to be honest with you, Skimmy, I'm really thinking the MVP today for me would probably have to be the Li Ming. I think she did a lot of work there in all these fights, always posturing around, always dealing that damage, always making sure she's getting those resets. And oh man, how much damage did she do? But that being said, really like the Thrall. The Sunderings coming out at the start of every fight, kicking off each fight, always there and ready. Yeah,
I'm actually going to take a completely different angle. I mean, I agree with every single point you've made, but I actually found for me, Zul was the MVP, especially at that very first stage of the game. He was bouncing between mid and bot, soaking 2 lanes for his team. The confidence of realizing, hey, my team can take this 4v4, and it forced that Sylvanas to step down bot, not clear it just as easily as her, but those Poison Overs, as well as the Bone Prism rotates with those ganks, just really sealed the deal for me. Kit Fox, what is the vibe like over in Twitch?
A little bit quiet over in the Twitch chat at the moment, boys. So I'll throw my 2 cents in. Juices on Karazim had some amazing divine palms, especially early on in that game. And on top of that, he popped out 63k worth of healing as well. So I'm going to nominate Deuces on behalf of Twitch chat. So we're torn here. We seem to be at an impasse. What do you guys reckon?
We're in a 1v3 situation right now. As I am sitting next to Starving, I can cover his mouth and just say I'm selfish. This is going to be my MVP. But
well, How about a rock, paper, scissors, Skimmy? You guys are going to have to take us on our word for this
It's
one.
that close, is it?
Yeah, it's that close.
Do it, boys.
Who are you rooting for? You mentioned 2. Who was your go-to?
I would probably say, after thinking about it a bit more, I really like this role. I love the Sunderings. He's always on point with the Sunderings, really initiated each team fight off. So that's going to be my nominee. You were saying Zul.
I mean, it's really, really close between the Zul and the Frau, but, we're going to bust out the offline, no camera, 1v1, rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
It's going to be a best of one like the game.
Yeah, best
so
of ones.
bring
Keep
your
it
best
in
hand
spirit.
to it. So rock, paper, scissors. I win.
Skimmy
Zul-
wins.
It's how it is, boys.
With the
It's how it
paper.
is. So, Zul as Sharper is going to be added to the Plantronics MVP program, where he's going to have a chance to win himself a Rig 500 HD headset at the very end of the Ember and Fire Ice series, really. So, congrats to him.
Yeah, well, we're going to pass it back over to Kit Fox. And, amazing game.
What a game indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Bad luck to Royal Allegiance. They will bow out of week 1 of the Gamestah Ember Series without recording a win, but we're looking forward to seeing them bounce back next week, and they have another crack at the $50 prize pool on offer. And don't forget that Plantronics MVP award, a Rig 500 HD headset, up for grabs at the end of the Fire and Ice Invitational later on in the year. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the big one, the Mac Daddy. The grand final is coming up very, very soon. It looks like we may not need a tiebreaker. We're just going to wait for the other teams to record their scores. But Tetris, they get their first win. But the grand final will be out of Negative Synergy, Gaming Gladiators, Fission and Fusion. I know how that sounds, but yes, there are actually 2 different teams. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Gamestah Heroes of the Storm Ember Series.